Fate had meant for me one last time to see my hometown again. Once again go there, see the places where as a child I'd been. As I journeyed now, it was so far out, it was almost in the middle of nowhere.
Bree's a fantastic little town. It's small, it's in the middle of nowhere, but it's got so much history. The fish traps behind us are the oldest, man-made structures in the world. It's got such a meeting place for so many communities. We're here from different tribes, so the history, the Aboriginal history here is so strong and still now. And just the fact that the town now it's such a positive town. You drive past the school and it's well kept. The people in the school, the people in the town are so passionate about seeing the young ones come through and do well.
Yeah, straight, quick!
Why did you get involved with Clontarf?
I never had that schooling myself, so I know what it's all about with education and that, because I didn't even finish school either.
And what have you worked at for most of your life?
Most of life I worked with at rehab, drug and alcohol.
So you've seen a lot of damage?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of damage, and like we and the best medicine is prevention. So we got there first, we get the boys to get them before they get to that crossroad.
Go.
Charlie McHughes was the last person to be born at the Brewarrina Aboriginal Mission. He only retired from football in 2016, when he played alongside Brewarrina Clontarf Academy director Adam Close. Adam came to Clontarf from the juvenile justice system.
Hold him like that with your finger on top. Watch your fingers. One tomato. I hated locking kids away and just wanted to spend time giving back to the boys and giving them opportunities similar to what I have had in my lifetime.
The parents can come in anytime they like, speak to Charlie and Adam, talk about anything they like, and they know they're comfortable. And if the boys are going away on an excursion or doing something at school, the boys feel, the parents are feeling, oh, well, I know everything's okay because it's Charlie and Adam.
In the middle of nowhere.
The Hardy family roots run deep into the banks of the Barwon River. Cole Hardy left many years ago to pursue a music career and raise a family in Sydney. His son Jeff became a decorated NRL player. But with Clontarf, the game of rugby league is less an end than a means.
It's not just the talented boys, it's all the boys. We're picking up the whole lot. So, for instance, in Bree, Dad got out of here because he had a talent, but all his cousins and friends were still here. And not saying that Burrup and Bree's bad, but we're going to give all those boys in now the opportunity, whether it's stay in Bree or whether it pursue education and go to university or whether it go somewhere in Australia and work for a Rio Tinto or a Caltex or a Qantas. We're going to try and scoop as many as we can up and put them on the right track.
Then I said goodbye forever to that little town in the middle of nowhere.
The Clontarf Foundation has been on an eastward journey for nearly 2 decades, after initially spreading out from Perth to remote areas such as the Kimberley. It began when the Fremantle Dockers Foundation coach Gerard Neesham went back to teaching at Clontarf Aboriginal Boys College in Perth.
What I thought initially was I thought everyone was going to school. I just thought as an Australian, I was taking my children to school and my wife was, and I thought every other kid in Australia was going to school and getting the benefit of an education, which is broad, you know. It's not just maths and English, it's everything else at school. It's mateship, it's playing a bit of sport, it's doing art, doing music. And it wasn't until I started to probe into this area that I found that a vast majority of the Aboriginal boys have been disengaging from school for probably 20 or 30 years. So the more we probed, the more we needed to put our program in because it actually works. It's pretty simple, but it does work because we see it works and it's measurable.
8, 9, 10.
These boys are from St Mary's College in Broome, camping out with their mentors on their way to a football carnival 500 kilometres away at Fitzroy Crossing.
Make sure you get plenty of these veggies, eh? Yeah. You're not having a wrap if you don't have any veggies on there.
They're excited because for each the trip has been hard won, with school attendance, good behaviour and care for each other.
So what we do is we put a football academy into the middle of the school. So if you want to access the football academy, then you have to get into the school and be deep into it. And then we provide men with them for them every day. And we just do this rich wraparound activity. You know, if you've seen it, training before school, our fellas pick them up, breakfast, shower, go and do a bit of maths and English, academy room. And before they know it, all they can see is the academy. But all they're doing is school. It's quite a fly trap, really.
6 minutes to go, the home and away season of the Ross Kelly Cup 2017.
In the east of Australia, rugby league is the key element in Clontarf's magical mix. This is the Ross Kelly Cup, where 17 teams from Clontarf academies around New South Wales play themselves to a standstill over one long day. The Cup's namesake is an AFL man, but no one quibbles. Ross Kelly was Gerard Neesham's chairman at the Fremantle Dockers and the founding chair of the Clontarf Foundation.
They're not here because of the football, are they?
Well, they think they are, but no. Actually, what we've developed is really a behavioural change program where the boys themselves become attracted by football, then they become attached to our men, and then they change the way they think about themselves and set themselves goals in life, which most of them, I'm pleased to say, achieve.
So we got to work as a team and close those gaps up.
Brewarrina combined with Burke to form the one team. What they do on the day doesn't count nearly as much as what they all achieve to get here. To Ross Kelly, that is the story of Clontarf.
How does it change the way society sees them when they spend time with them?
Very dramatically, like it or not. Most people in the capital cities haven't met an Aboriginal boy, man or woman. They read a lot of disturbing stuff in the papers and therefore they form a view. And most people who meet our boys are first of all agreeably surprised, and then they comment on how well behaved and polite and confident they are. So, and in doing that, it changes the way they think.
Blue gum trees, I hear you calling me back to where I always feel so free, to the land where kangaroos and emus roam. The bush will always be my home.
Incredible story. Dad obviously grew up across there on the riverbank in Brewarrina, and little schooling because he was one of 13 children growing up in what we call a gunya or a humpy, a tin shack, dirt floor, no electricity, no running water. So a true Aboriginal family on the riverbank. He had a love for country music and was spotted by his school teacher at the time. And when they were out looking for Aboriginal talent, they were in Walgett and they said, there's a young bloke over in Brewarrina you should go and see. And they came over and they saw Dad, and Dad got offered to go down and play on the TV show Bandstand at the time with Jimmy Little, and he did. And from there he got offered a job to earn enough money to get himself back home, more or less, and ended up staying and worked for Sydney Water then for 37 years and raised his family, and myself included, my brothers, down in Sydney.
The Barwon River has always been the lifeblood of Brewarrina. Just Bree is the shorthand. Its population, 1,500, 97% of whom are Indigenous. Bree Central School teaches years 5 to 12. The Clontarf Foundation set up at the school in 2013. Roughly a third of the 150 students are Clontarf boys. Executive Principal Christine Greaves arrived in 2016.
What did you notice when you came here about the effect of Clontarf on the boys?
When I first arrived, I'd come from a coastal school, North Coast School, and what I did notice was that Clontarf was a program that operated within the school to engage the boys through sport, but then through that they did a whole lot of other activities with regards to peer mentoring, the development of the boys with respect, you know, teaching them about respect of themselves, of females, of where they want it to go, because it's about future aspirations as well. And what I did notice was that, in fact, the boys didn't have that swagger. They weren't into being, you know, like gang-type boys. They were into being supportive of each other in a really positive way.
Come on, Thomas. Come on, be wild. Went to Bronco last night, people.
To Charlie McHughes, better known as Uncle Charlie, the few steps to his bus just after dawn can be the most important journey a Bree boy can make.
What you drinking Coke for, mate? This hour of the morning.
Well,
Hey?
Uncle Charlie missed the journey to school enough to know why these boys shouldn't. Their respect for him is enormous.
Where are your shoes, mate?
Charlie's very high in this community. A lot of them look at him as the god kind of thing. And a lot of the boys work in with Charlie because obviously he's a local. He's played football with the boys. He's there to help them. He's been away on a lot of the trips. And the parents and the families of those boys know if Charlie's there, and of course if Adam's there, they know everything is fine. And they will make sure that the boys have got everything when they do go away, and make sure that they keep in contact with the families if anything does go wrong. And yeah, they're a very tight-knit family, as they speak. So, as they say, from little things, big things grow.
Oh, shoes, no shoes.
how many kids have you got?
I got 4.
And do you feel now, well, ever since you joined Clontarf, like you got heaps more? Or?
Yeah, it's heaps more, but it's a small community, but the kids just keep coming, and like I'm saying, they just come to where it's a safe place or where they feel safe. And I always have some boys and that up at home, sitting around, having a yarn.
Well, your Uncle Charlie actually, before Clontarf, were you?
Yeah.
So all you did was shift that into Clontarf in some way?
Yeah, all I did. Well, really now all I just get to do is get paid for being Uncle Charlie now.
Charlie is an uncle in every respect for Shannon McHughes, whose parents had never heard of Clontarf until their son moved schools to Bree Central.
Geraldine, is Shannon a good fella?
He is basically a really good boy.
How much has Clontarf had to do with that?
Clontarf has really helped him develop in his own self-esteem and his own independence and learning. So they're always there for him when he wants help. Clontarf has always been there to support us, and there were times when Shannon had a few difficulties, so we
Mucking up a bit, yeah.
came back on track, and Clontarf were there to support and help us and help Shannon when he needed it.
There we are this morning, boys. Good? We'll get dry. Even though his stuff, we'll get into things. Out loud. Real loud.
We're going to do a warm-up.
Breakfast Club. This basic mix of activity, companionship and nourishment becomes a powerful recipe in the hands of Clontarf's carefully selected mentors.
Why do they go to school under Clontarf?
it's fun. We give them a reason to be there. It makes learning fun. You know, school's not only about what you learn in your books, it's about the life skills that you learn along the way and meeting new people. It's about learning skills that you'll take with you into employment and on into fatherhood.
Let's go, sure, shark chip.
Prior to Clontarf, and my experience with the boys was disengagement from school, disengagement in classrooms, lots of boys out of the classroom at all times, and now we're rarely pushing boys back into classrooms. We have a select few that we have to push along the way, but the vast majority of our boys are making their own way to school, into class, and gaining an education.
Adam, how thin is the divide between a silly bad decision that sends a boy in the direction where you used to work and not making that decision?
A split second can change a boy's life, and hopefully we give them the tools to make those decisions easier, to make the right decision.
16-year-old Clay Bennett worked hard to earn his trip to the Ross Kelly Cup. His father, Bruce, is an Aboriginal education officer and a single dad of 4.
You know, I've got to give Clontarf 10 out of 10. I think every school should be able to, be able to get a Clontarf. You know what I mean? Because society today is so fast, you know what I mean, and so aggressive today, I feel, where it needs a calm, a cooler.
Bruce says that instead of fisticuffs between teams from neighbouring towns, there are now friendships and networks.
It grows them up so much faster and the way they should be. You know, they're on track to leave in school. They're ready, they're confident, ready to go, get a job. They network, you know what I mean? They help you get a job. Like they said, they said, once you're a Clontarf member, you're a Clontarf for life.
Do you want to send that first lot in the machine going, George? Good job, brother.
A trip away to the Ross Kelly Cup beckons, and the only way to make it is school attendance and good behaviour.
Yeah, can you put that in the bin for me, please, brother?
It's foresight through football.
They actually see and what life can be like, what possibilities there are. And as an educator, that works so well with what we do with our students, because ultimately we want every student to have a great future. And Clontarf actually opens up their eyes to what the future could hold for them.
Wichita, cricketa, willy, willy, wah, wah, gintilly, wah, with Jay, gintilly, wah, wah, Jay.
That Col Hardy was able to leave Brewarrina as a young man and find success in Sydney amazes his son Jeff, who opened the first Clontarf Academy on Australia's east coast at Endeavour Sports High in Sydney.
Ready to go, ready to go, ready to go, and go! Good pass, hands up, early catch. Hands up, early catch, whoa. I think Cribb's team got it. Well, I was a teacher and a coach at Endeavour, being a targeted sports school and doing rugby league. But what it added was that wraparound support where there's fellas there all the time at school for the boys. Great try! Collie dog, go on the collie dogs. Hey! Oh! Hey, how were you in drama then? Were you good?
Yeah, good, man.
How you going? How's the ankle?
All right, I was with...
It didn't matter if you lived in the city or you come from down the coast or you lived in the hostel, there was wraparound support because we wanted to see you get through, to help you get through and finish school. But it also we became the network for the boys. So with the partners of Clontarf, they become our workplace experiences. They become our employers. So we weren't just staying with them for school, well now we're staying with them for life.
A long way from home and loving every minute of it. The Bree boys combined with neighbours Burke to send a team on tour to the Ross Kelly Cup. As with any touring, there are sights to see. These are the fringe benefits of achieving the goals set by their mentors.
You know, that's what it's all about. It's all about the experiences as opposed to just the football. It's about reward for dedication, and the boys have really dedicated themselves to that, to get to that position, and we want to reward them equally.
They must anticipate it a lot and just look forward to it so much.
Every year, the boys that are eligible, they just put their hand up and make the effort, you know. It's hard to not fill the seats, you know. It's only those small behaviours that cost the boys that miss the trip. Boys were G'd up a little bit and told about their single-seat jet that they'd be on, and we worked our way down to Sydney Harbour and right in front of the Opera House, jumped on a jet boat and spent a good half an hour, 45 minutes jetting around the harbour.
They loved that.
Oh, they loved it. They were absolutely enthralled the whole time.
For bush kids, the seaside at Manly is irresistible.
Manly is just an opportunity for the boys to unwind and get some sand between the toes, wash a bit of red dirt out, and they love the beach and that opportunity to eat those fresh fish and chips and sit around and people watch.
They like that, don't they?
They love it. They love their lookalikes, and they love to sit around and enjoy each other's company and have a laugh and see different people.
I'll Charlie go right.
The rugby league ball and Uncle Charlie are constants.
Back, keep going.
And this packed day is a long way from over. On the eve of their carnival, all the boys gather for dinner at North Sydney Leagues Club. Several Indigenous NRL stars made time to attend, as did broadcaster Stan Grant. For the people there at the beginnings of Clontarf, the night was a milestone.
We would never have conceived in the initial stages of doing anything other than being in a single school that was Clontarf Aboriginal College. So this has been a surprise to all of us, and last night I was with Jared Neesham and we had to pinch ourselves that there were 350 young boys in the room. That's why rugby league's good, because rugby league is something that those boys are disproportionately good at. So the start, when they go to a school, generally when they go to school where sport is missing, they are placed at a disadvantage compared to the other students, whereas with rugby league they've got a chance of being above average, and that leads to self-esteem.
Welcome to the Ross Kelly Cup here, ladies and gentlemen. A beautiful day. Okay, our next game up here on field one, we've got the Burke and Brewarrina boys versus the Bidwell and Dunevant boys. Start getting yourselves ready, lads.
And just remember, it's all about fun first, boys. Fun. Get out there and enjoy yourselves and put on a show. We good? Move forward, boys. Move forward. Slow them down. Lay on top of them. You're not going to get penalised.
Stay up in the line at all times, huh? Get up in the line all the time. 1 minute, quick, boys, get on their tackle.
Each of the 17 teams plays 3 games to get out of their pool and into the quarterfinals. Bree Burke didn't make the final 8, but the real measure of the day was how much fun they had. And that score was a blowout.
Ready, boys? 3 cheers for Tiffany. Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hooray! Hip hip! Hooray! Lorno! 3 cheers for Bree Burke. Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray!
Proud of the effort, boys. Every time he's got scored against, he's picked it up again and had another crack at it.
Does it matter to you greatly how well they do at the carnival? Is it more their attitude?
Not at all. It's not about outcomes on the football field, it's about outcomes in life. And as you see on the day, it's not the best footballers that necessarily make it, but it's the best blokes, and that's what Clontarf hopes, is that we turn out the best blokes.
What did you think of their performance at the carnival?
They played really well. Under some pretty ill conditions for a few boys, they performed exceptionally well. So
you're very proud of them?
Yeah, always.
After 34 games of rugby league, it came down to 2 teams.
Our strength is going through teams, right? There's less margin for error.
Tom Leroy Lars coached the blended team from his hometown of Tamworth and also from nearby Quirindi. They're playing Endeavour Sports High from Sydney South, Jeff Hardy's academy.
How does it change their individual personalities? What does it give them?
It gives them motivation and it gives them satisfaction, but the big thing is self-worth. You know, we got boys there that have gone from 20% school attendance to 95% school attendance, and it was the lure of rugby league that got them there, so, you know, it's a powerful thing.
Great charge from Oxley Corindi. They're on the board.
Nelson Mandela said that sport has the power to change the world. And Clontarf is one of the many reasons he was right. With such a cause hitched to it, rugby league has never looked so powerful. The winning try was also a gem.
Massive team effort, boys. Outstanding, could not be prouder of any of you. Everything went against us there, and that man just kept turning up, boys. Questions like that will be asked of you your whole life. And if you answer them like that, you boys will end up outstanding young men who will be wherever you want to be. If you answer questions the way you answered them in that last 20 minutes of football.
On behalf of Oxley,
Our boys, they gain so much self-belief and self-confidence out of that. They'll go away and they'll feel that good about themselves. Now the challenge for us is to make sure we keep it in check. You know, they continue to do the things that got them the result today.
Well done. Congratulations. You played very well, boys.
Well done, fellas. The Oxley Corindi All-Star Stallions.
Now we push up over 6,000 boys in the Clontarf program nationally with tremendous support. We're hoping they get through, and not all of a sudden their siblings also want to get through. So when they have children, it's just common. You're going to school, you finish in school, and you're going into a good job, and your family will do the same. So we're going to grow the problem out from the bottom.
I can hear you calling me back home.